here we are again. One more day
Yep.
at sea. But since we saw you last,
We are now currently sailing the Java Sea
yes.
on our way to Java.
Having just finished 2 big days in Bali.
Yeah,
And Bali was kind of one of the places I was really looking forward to, and it held up.
it didn't disappoint.
It did not disappoint. Lovely city. I would 100% come back for a vacation.
Yeah.
I have to figure out how long that flight is. I'm thinking it's long.
And I think it's long too.
Yeah, but I think it's worth it, and cost of living here seems reasonable.
Reasonable.
Yeah. So but we love Bali. So yes, we woke up one morning and we were at dock, and we looked outside our terrace, and down below us there were musicians playing
And dancers.
and dancers. They were welcoming us. They looked a lot like the dancers in The King and I, right? With the
Yep.
with the neck thing and the hand things. Yes, and beautiful. Yeah, very nice. But they were very nice, and you had your picture taken with them.
I did.
So well done to you.
Yep.
Yes,
It's good to be tall again.
I took the picture, so that was my contribution.
Did you hear what I said?
It's good to be tall again.
It
Yes,
is.
It is good.
All
Yes.
these little women.
And they had head dresses.
Things, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So yes, that was lovely. So yes.
So when we last talked about our stop in Indonesia, we were on the island was predominantly Muslim, and they were
In Lombok, yeah.
Lombok, and they're still observing Ramadan. So when we got to Bali, it's much more of a Hindu.
Yes.
Um,
Well, the
Island.
majority
Yeah.
of folks.
Yes.
Now they're also well known for being welcoming to everyone,
yes.
and all religions are encouraged and
Yep.
welcomed. So there are some Buddhist folks there. We did see a few mosques, just a couple, but primarily we saw the Hindu religion being represented everywhere. So the Hindu people, their living arrangements were unique. So they told us a little bit about that. Do you remember how that worked?
Well, with the compound.
They have a compound, yes.
Yes, and these compounds can be quite large, anywhere from 100 meters to 600 meters long,
Mm-hmm.
100 meters wide, and some of them have up to 3 or 4 generations
Yeah.
living in there.
Yeah.
And the oldest son, the Waynan,
Mm-hmm.
if he marries, the wife is allowed to come in and live with the husband.
Wives always go to live with their husbands,
Right.
but there's exceptions. But
Oh,
yes,
yes.
yes.
But not every son gets to live in the compound of the oldest. Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
So every time the oldest son gets married, then they build another house.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you come in, the first building you normally come to is the communal kitchen.
Yes.
And then they have sleeping living quarters for each of the families.
Everybody has their own little building for
Yeah.
sleeping. Yes.
Mhm. And they have a small little temple in them.
Mm-hmm.
Prayer
Everybody
temple.
has their own. I mean, every family has their own temple. Yes. And
these-
it's walled, right?
Yes,
They
it
all
is.
have walls, and that's to keep out the evil spirits. And they consult priests to make sure everything is feng shui.
Yes, so they believe in feng shui. In addition to the Hindu, the group of gods for Hindus,
Mhm.
they also believe in the spirit of feng shui
Mm-hmm.
and the Tao, the yin and the yang.
Oh, right. Yeah,
So that was kind of interesting.
Which means that when you're driving down the road, there's so much beauty everywhere because you can see evidence of these really ornate walls and the temples within them. And then, of course, you drive past a temple every 30 feet, it feels like, which are just drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah.
So,
Now, those are the community temples. the big
yes,
ones.
yes. Now, supposedly they go the folks go to the community temple at least twice a month, and that's for the new moon and for the full moon. Found that out this morning at breakfast. So yes, we're driving by and we saw the temples, and our guide is telling us a little bit about the life of your average Balinese family. Balinese, yes. And but our first stop was at a boutique factory or shop.
Where they actually produced the works and made the shirts and other things, sarongs.
So boutique is, first it started by drawing outlines with wax, and then they fill in with the colors, and then they melt the wax away, and the color stays.
Well,
I think.
so they separate the details
Yes.
by drawing with the wax,
Mhm.
painting the background, and then they'll come back, and it's an iterative process. So they may make patterns that are all going to be the same color, and the next time they'll come through, put down more wax, and do those colors. So each color is a separate process.
Wow, I love boutique. I just think it's fantastic. So, but when we went to the shop, they would draw. If you had something you wanted boutique, they did it. So Jeff had his hat done, his Wimbledon hat. So he's got this cutie
Roland
little.
Garros.
I'm sorry, it is Roland Garros, not Wimbledon. So yes, a cutie little sailfish on there, sunfish. And I was able to get one of my blouses. This is the one I wore. So I just held out this piece and they did it. It says, so it's a little Bali flower. Now we've already washed this and it just stays right on because it's wax. And they said that as long as you have to put it in boiling water for it to come out. So very excited about that. Yes. So it's just my little shirt. Very nice. Yes.
What else do you have there?
Well, we couldn't just do that. We had to buy something else too. So I got a sarong, which is fantastic colors. If you come to my house, it might show up as a tablecloth as well, but multi-use. And I did wear it as a sarong for a lot of the day. And then Jeff got a shirt. Look at this shirt. Is it beautiful? Look how blue that is, and the patterns, and
It's cool.
I wish you could see it on because it's really beautiful. So yes, and you got another one that was green, and yes. So
Got a lot of old crummy shirts to get rid of when I get home.
Evidently, we are full of the Indonesian color now, so we are all set. And that was the first stop, but I gotta say I like the boutique.
Yes. So,
And all of this was, I think, 1.4 million rupiahs. Yes. So 1 rupiah is like 17,000. I'm sorry. Each dollar is worth 17,000 rupiah. So that's a fun conversion to do in your head. I just had out my phone. I was using calculator for everything, and I was, there were a few people where they're like, "How do I figure it?"
we got it down pretty good.
I was Johnny on the spot with that.
Yep.
So yes, absolutely. So what did we do after we did the boutique factory?
Well, we did our first cultural
Sure.
thing by visiting the Royal Temple, Tunan Ayan. And so it was mandatory that everyone cover their knees, even if you had pants on. So basically everyone had to wear a sarong.
No, the first one, if your knees were covered, you didn't have to wear a sarong. So I didn't have a sarong on. You'll see in the pictures. But Jeff had to wear a sarong.
Yeah.
Because he was wearing shorts. So, yes. And the reason I wore pants was because I knew that you couldn't expose your knees. But that wasn't good enough at our later stop. We'll get to that.
So after we visited the temple, we got back in the bus and headed off to our second temple of the day, to one called Tanah Lot.
Tanah Lot, which is very famous, right? A lot.
Yes. It's 3 separate temple complexes Each one's perched on a little bit of cliff, and with the water crashing down below it.
And at high tide, it almost looks like an island, right?
Yeah.
It's
So
encircled by water.
People were able to walk out to one of them, and that was super crowded.
Well, it is a World Heritage spot.
Yes.
Yeah. And
But a lot of
incredibly
people were
beautiful.
enjoying the water down there.
Yes, and
The
very
main
beautiful.
temple. Oh.
People from all over the world are there. A lot of ladies anxious to make sales.
And if we haven't said it enough, it was hot as heck.
It was hot as 80s, yes.
Uh,
We were searching for the shade, and just looking out for good places to get a nice, unique shot. So,
Yeah.
And the water's crashing into the temple, so you're trying to time your picture so
well,
that
the
you
cliff,
get some
not
of the
the
crash.
temple so much.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
Uh-huh.
it was hard to get the timing right, the way the waves were going.
Mm-hmm.
But we had finished up looking all around, and again, we were hot, and but we had a break before we got on the bus to come back, and we got some traditional Balinese snacks, desserts,
Yep. And a beer,
and a beer,
which I was able to.
Bing Tong,
And what did it cost? Like $3 for the beer.
yes.
It was really
Maybe
inexpensive.
$2
Yeah. So the snacks, we had a little spring roll
Yep.
with some sauce, and then there was a little green sticky rice thing, and it looked like it was almost a chili pepper. And then you put coconut over it. It was very yummy, except I went to cut it, and it exploded all over my white shirt. So it looked like I had batik all down my front of my shirt. Luckily, Mr. Laundry here was able to get it out, so you can see all's well that ends well.
Yep.
It was yummy though. It was sweet, and it was filled with palm sugar, or melted palm sugar. So it was real sweet inside. So then that all happened. You were getting the beer,
Yep.
and so then I got another one, and I'm like, oh,
It
here we
did the
go. This
same
is
thing
how they were.
again.
Well, I just went to stick a fork in it, and it exploded again. I was like, and somebody said, you need to use a spoon. and just
And
scoop
just
it
pop
up.
the whole thing in.
Put the whole thing in your mouth at one time. So, yes. Next
get a
time I eat
third
the
one.
little things, yes.
And then they had the rice flour sort of deep fried banana
Yeah.
treats, which were really good.
I don't like bananas, so I didn't try those. Yes.
Well, you did later.
At the
That's-
other
we'll
place,
do
yes.
that, yeah.
Yes.
So that was a lot of fun,
Mm-hmm.
and I had the small beer. And then we jumped on the bus. I took a nap.
And we headed back to the boat. Now, just like in Lombok, you're not getting anywhere quickly.
No.
The traffic, lots of scooters. It just takes a long time to get everywhere. So we were over an hour and a half coming back. Yeah. And I bet if it was 50 miles, I'd be surprised.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, when you're only doing 25 to 35 miles an hour.
that's true. It didn't seem like we were stopping a lot.
The traffic wasn't quite as bad as it was in Lombok, I
True.
thought. The
True.
roads were a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing we didn't get to do, and that's what we come back for, is go visit the tourist areas where they have the beaches and shopping, nightlife, and all that.
Yeah.
So
It's-
that's on the bucket list.
Absolutely. Supposedly the hotels are quite reasonable. A friend of ours went to a beach, and it was a Hyatt, I think, and they said it was $120 a night for a beachfront room.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Good
put it
bargain.
on the list. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. And of course, I didn't dive because we had all these, excursions planned with, temples and stuff, and that's stuff you can't see anywhere else. So we wanted to see them.
Well, let's talk about the next day.
Well, that's true. The next day we got up, and our first stop was at a wood carver.
Yes.
So the Balinese wood is really famous, and their carvings, and yeah.
Well, they had different woods, so you could get mahogany, teak, and something we looked at what's called hibiscus wood.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a tree, not the flowers that we get, and it's a blonde colored wood, but it can hold fine details.
And, you know, they might have several of the same thing, but if you compare them, they're all just slightly different.
Each
so,
artist does his own thing.
Exactly. So that was really cool. It took a little bit of time just picking out the exact thing we wanted.
We sort of gravitated to one and compared it to the others.
Exactly. That kind of helped, yeah.
And then I think we finally landed on our third pick.
Yes.
So,
but I did see a similar piece in sandalwood, and they had those behind glass.
yes,
Very pricey.
those were thousands of dollars.
Exactly. So didn't get the sandalwood one, but it was a place where you had to bargain.
Yes.
Jeff's a pretty good bargainer, so I let him do all the bargaining. He
got
can be
it.
the man.
We got it for just a little bit under half price.
Yeah, I was impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you came in there even lower, and you're like, no.
And even with them charging us the credit card fee, it was still a pretty good deal.
Plus, they. I also noticed you bartered in dollars, and then she converted to rupiah, and the exchange rate she gave us on the rupiah was not that great. So, but I wasn't going to say anything. I would let them make some money. You know what I mean? Well, I guess it wasn't horrible. I want to say she gave us
at least 15.
15.7, 15.1, I think. Yeah.
And that was the going rate at the money changer.
Was it? Nah, okay. Yeah, so.
Or 15.7, but anyway.
Yeah.
We did quite good. And our next stop was...
One of the highlights of the whole trip.
It's hard to pick a single highlight if you're comparing
One of them, yeah.
diving on the Great Barrier Reef
True.
versus an opera performance.
I felt like it was opera too, but
Well, we had a libretto.
that's true. We had libretto, but there wasn't singing.
Yeah, there was a little bit. I mean,
Okay.
the parts were acted sing-song.
I think the part that was opera-like for me was that the costumes were very elaborate.
Yes,
Yes.
quite cool. So it was a 5-act play having to do with rebirth and
Good and evil,
good and evil,
and fighting.
redemption.
Exactly, rebirth. So I wasn't following all of it, I have to say, because I didn't quite realize until halfway through it that the paper you were looking at was kind of telling you what was going on. I'm just like, oh, isn't this all pretty? And the music's so nice.
Well, as I was reading, I was trying to give Amy a hint. And then,
I was just oblivious.
Yeah. But then you picked it up
I
and
did.
watched. You got the 4th and 5th act in.
Exactly. It was just interesting to watch anyway.
Yes.
So, yes, I enjoyed it
was
very
quite
much.
good.
But that show was over an hour.
Yep.
We were there a good little while. Really lovely performance space, though. It was open air. So we had covered open air, and the seats were real comfortable.
Oh, and they were accompanied by almost like a little orchestra of Balinese instruments.
Yes. Very traditional, with the bells and flutes and drums.
So on this, we met a British guy, British heritage, living in New Jersey now.
Mm-hmm.
He was the BBC representative for America when he was working. But he was telling us over lunch a little bit later how he thought the place looked familiar when he drove up. And when he walked back to the performance space, it all came flooding back. He had done a BBC piece on Bali.
In the 70s.
Yeah, in the 70s. And it was the same play. And he didn't get a chance to talk.
The same play or the same place?
No, the same play.
Oh, okay.
Of the Tom.
Okay.
And he didn't get the chance to go talk to the actors to see if any of them were like third generation to when he filmed it in 1970 or something.
They hustled us out of there pretty quick. 'Cause, yeah.
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 So
Well,
yes.
we had to get on to the next place.
It was pretty large space, so there was probably room for a couple hundred people in there. Yeah. Maybe
Oh, yeah, easily.
3 or 400. Yeah.
Well, there
It went.
were
It
4
was.
bus
It
loads.
was. Yeah. That's true.
So that's at least 200.
Sure.
Anyway, it was quite good.
Mm-hmm.
But oof, all that sandalwood incense burning is like choking me up.
Was it? I didn't. It didn't bother me.
Yeah, sandalwood a little bit goes a long way.
I see.
So what did we do after that cultural event?
Then we went to another temple. So actually, was it a temple?
It was. It was
Oh,
the
it was a
private-
temple.
It was
Yes.
the royal temple for
Yeah.
the king,
Uh-huh.
and it was also where he meted out justice. And so there was a council table where he sat with the people, and then painted on all the ceiling panels above were all the horrible things that would happen to you, not while you were alive, but during. The worst thing was you had to do the walk of shame around town with
Seriously,
bells.
shame.
Seriously, yeah.
Shame.
But the scary part was what happened to you. It had a little look of Dante's Inferno. This one guy getting his
Wow.
head sawed in half.
Ooh.
All kinds of bizarre things.
But the Hindus believe in reincarnation, so they're always trying to live their best life. So
Yeah.
because they're, yes, mindful of what could happen in the future. So now this place, everyone had to wear
Everyone
a
had
sarong.
masks.
So even though I had pants on, I handed the guy my new petite sarong, and he tied that around my waist so tight it was not going anywhere. So I wore it for quite a while after
Yeah.
that.
And the men's, again, were more apron-like. They just had 2 tails that you could wrap it around and
Yeah.
tie a bow.
And they tied it for you, or
Yeah.
no? Did they? Okay.
They did good.
Yeah.
And then our last stop of the day was
Well, we had lunch.
we had lunch.
Yes.
Had
And
a
we fed
nice-
some fish at the temple too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was kind of fun. Yeah. Big fish.
But the lunch was good. It was in an outdoor area.
Mm-hmm.
There were little terraced rice paddy fields around there.
Real pretty.
A lot of koi, water feature,
Yeah.
fish.
Yeah. We had a little bowl of soup, which tasted to me kind of like chicken soup.
That was the mushrooms.
Was it?
The woman thought she was eating chicken, but those are those white, long, stringy mushrooms.
Oh.
We've had them before.
Sure. So they're meat-like.
Yes. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a chicken base in the soup.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So it
no
had
chicken.
cabbage in it, and probably bok choy, and
A little bit of bean
so-
sprout.
and carrots were in there too.
Yep.
It was quite tasty and not spicy.
Not spicy. Boy. So the next dish we got was served with a stick of chicken satay.
Uh-huh.
Satay?
Satay.
Satay.
Mhm.
And
Spicy.
that was spicy. Oh my God.
It was yummy. And then it caught up with you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I didn't finish mine. I had a couple bites.
And that was served with a specialty in the house, which was a crispy fried, almost half a duck. So you got a little bit of the breast, the wing, the thigh, and the leg.
It was all one piece. kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah. I mean, they sliced it.
Mhm.
Now
It
that
was good
super
too,
spicy.
but it was spicy, and they're not very plump, you know. I guess we're used to our animals having a little bit more meat on their bones, but I was having a hard time getting it off. Yeah, It also had some little green beans with it, which were not spicy. So that was.
I couldn't tell by that point.
When I needed to cool off my mouth, then I would have some rice or the green beans, and then there were some little chip type things, and I thought they kind of looked like pork rinds to me, but they were shrimp chips.
Shrimp chips.
Yes.
Fried shrimp.
And
like little shrimp wonton thingies.
yeah, crunchy.
Mm-hmm.
They again weren't
They
spicy. Yes.
They help.
Yes. And then for dessert we had bananas that were
fried
wrapped in a
potato.
flour and
Similar to the ones we had
yeah.
before.
So if you like fried dough and you can tolerate the banana inside, it was yummy.
Yep. Well, you ate them. You did
I
good.
did. And a piece of watermelon. So
Yeah.
that helped to cool off my mouth, too.
Watermelon and honeydew.
Yeah.
Honeydew.
And we had beer too.
Yeah.
So we're pretty down.
So we've now
This
had
one was a
the-
Pilsner.
Yeah, we've had the Bintang Lager
Mhm.
and the Bintang Pilsner. I think I like the Pilsner better.
Okay. I did.
Yeah.
Oh, they were both fine though. I mean, you're high. Nothing like a good beer.
Oh, you know what we forgot to talk about?
Huh.
I got to tell you, all these women prey on you. Not this kind of prey. P-R-E-Y on you.
They are insistent that you buy something.
Yes.
And
once you buy something, they don't leave you alone.
oh no! Now you need to buy more.
Mama Amy,
Well-
you got something. You going to buy your man a shirt?
Well, you called out for my name, and now they know my name. Now they're running after me. Amy.
Well, I was
And
trying to escape.
then the trick was, the one lady said to you, $1.
$1 for the shirt.
So then he's like, oh, maybe I should buy her for $1. And
As soon
then
as I handed her the dollar, she
Oh,
said,
no.
Oh, no,
No.
$10. And I said, no, forget it.
Oh no,
No,
come
$8.
back. I make you a
$8.
price.
Make you a price. Oy. But
And-
we finally escaped her clutches.
Well, I would get on the bus, the one lady banging on the window of the bus, trying to get my attention. And I would look at her. It was the most persistent I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, yeah.
Had to give him an A for effort. We ended up spending $10 or so.
Oh, absolutely. So, yes.
That was a good.
Couldn't find a postcard to save my life.
It's weird, isn't it?
I know. But it's coming. I'm sure I'll find one tomorrow. Yeah. We do have a postcard to send.
Well, you've mailed two.
Well, that was on yesterday's video,
Yep.
or the last one we did. So our postcard today, that I haven't bought yet, but we'll buy and we'll send.
Rude.
And it's for an old work colleague of mine and travel mate, Joelle
Joelle.
from Maryland.
Maryland.
So thanks for watching, buddy. And next time you can come with me. Let's go to Bali. I think
Yes.
you'd love it. And I think your husband might love it too. I'm thinking the chance of getting her husband here is pretty slim to low.
I wonder if he'd try a boat.
I've suggested it, but yeah.
I mean, he's got his own facilities.
Yeah.
His
Let's
own
not
room.
get too personal. Yeah.
No, but he just doesn't like the crowds in a plane.
Yeah. But yes. So
Well, good luck with that. That would be interesting. And it would be fun to travel with them.
I think so. They're fun people.
Yep.
We know all kinds of fun people. So where are we going next?
Well, tomorrow we're going to Semarang,
Which is also
Java.
close to Java.
Well,
Java.
the island Java.
Oh, okay. And Semarang is the
Semarang
town.
is the town
Okay.
we're going to.
And we're going to another temple, but this one is a different kind of temple.
What is it?
I guess you'll have to come back and find out.
Okay, no spoiler alerts, folks. We've got
That's
you
called
hooked now.
In the biz.
It's a teaser.
In the biz, that's a teaser. Yeah. In the biz. So yeah, we're getting a little slap happy. We're having a great time. I really am locking into just one day after another and loving it. Love
Well,
it.
I'm loving our sea days.
Yes, it's
I mean,
nice.
once you get up, some of these we're up.
Oh.
We got to be up and going by 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
And the ride tomorrow is, we're going to be on the bus for probably 7 hours with 2 hours on the ground. It's a 9-hour day. So we're going
But
to
it's
take
gonna
our
be worth it.
iPads.
It's- yeah. It'll be
on the
worth
way
it
back,
because it's
yeah.
a place. It's a bucket list
They
type
gotta
place.
give us, lunch or something.
Yeah, we're having lunch.
Okay,
So, promised. I was promised lunch.
okay, we'll figure that out tomorrow.
You got it.
All right, guys.
All right.
We're gonna say bye.
Bye. We should look up how to say goodbye in Indonesian.
Well, I've heard 3 different ways, and it's very complicated.
Okay.
So,
We'll find out for you. Let you know.
I should have them write it down so I can see it phonetically.
It's probably different in Balinese as well.
Could be.
Yeah.
Okay, for the second time, we're out of here.
Goodbye.